I'm Johnny L. Fuentes. I am the news director of WSIA, Staten Island. So, for those listening to us, you're about to listen to an exclusive interview with the one and only Hadiatou Wann. And for those watching us on our social medias, which are WSIA_FM on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and any other social medias, guess what? You're about to see an interview with the one and only Hadiatou Wann, an author who speaks about her life as a Muslim. I hope you guys are going to enjoy, and let's stay tuned in to WSIA 88.9 FM.
Hello there, WSIA viewers. This is Gabriel Acevedo, and today we have a special guest. We're being introduced to Hadiatou Wann. Why don't you tell us about yourself to our guests?
Hello viewers, my name is Hadiatou Wann. I am an adult and children's book author. I write non-fiction and fiction.
As a Muslim who's seen the rise of Islamophobia and anti-Arab sentiment in the United States, what's one thing you recall that shaped your experience living here?
The people, being around people that were open-minded kind of helped me a lot because as I was learning to be comfortable with my Islamic identity, it really helped to be around people who kind of encouraged me at times. And sometimes, of course, people who didn't understand the Islamic identity and why I had to wear the hijab were kind of like thrown off by it. But the more I explained why I wore the hijab, the more they were able to like get closer and find out more about me and why I practice what I practice.
And this relates to my other question. In your experience, how did CUNY help create a safe environment for Muslim students to succeed and be free from potential harassment?
Oh, being at CUNY, I felt very comfortable. I really didn't feel discriminated against in any way. When I looked around, I saw so many other people that looked like me, so I felt pretty comfortable. They had like programs and activities where people could work together, so I really didn't feel that discrimination at CSI.
What are ways you can encourage Muslims to embrace their heritage and religion while pursuing higher paths in life?
Is to be comfortable with yourself and know that we live in a world that is just mixed. It's a melting pot, right? You can't have everyone being the same, so it's important to embrace your identity and be yourself. And the people who will like you for who you are, and the people who won't like you anyway. So just be confident in who you are wherever you are.
Hello, I'm Dia F. Suarez. I am the acting music director, and this is Hadiatou Wann, and I'm very excited to be chatting with you. Just excited little jazz hands. So, one of my first questions is, generally, like in the world, there's unfortunately misogyny and stigmas against women, which is unfortunately the way things are. But what I wanted to ask, I know that certain groups of women, like with certain ethnic backgrounds, are like a little more ridiculed when it comes to this. And I wanted to know how you combat stigma and misogyny against Muslim women.
For me, as a Muslim, I was born into Islam, but for most of my life, I didn't really understand what Islam was about. I consider myself as a Muslim, but I didn't understand it fully. And fear comes from not understanding. So I feel that when people can understand what Islam is about, why we wear the hijab, they'll be able to open up to it a little bit more. So for me, understanding my Islamic identity and being proud of it is what allows me to be out there in the world and communicate with people and just be myself. So I would say just understanding what the religion is about and knowing that we're just not terrorists. Like, we have our own personal problems that we're going through on a daily basis. We're human beings just like everyone else. We have our own struggles. I'm not here thinking about harming you. I just have my own flaws, my own insecurities, my own problems. I'm human just like you. So if people could understand that and see that Muslims are just like everyone else and we're not here to be terrorists, that can make a whole lot of difference in the world.
Like, to add on to what you're saying, typically what is unknown is feared.
Right.
So it's very important and impactful that you write books, because it shows people that you're just like everyone else. You're a person. Like, not everything is a stereotype, and not everything that's negative on the news is counts for everyone. Like, you can't just put you in a box. Like,
Right.
there's one bad person, but that doesn't mean you're bad.
Right.
Like, you're a great person.
Right, thank you so much.
Are there any particular events in your life that inspired you to write your book, Modest in the West? From what I asked before, it seems like learning about yourself and accepting yourself might be.
So my hijab, I started wearing it as an adult. For Muslim women, you're supposed to wear the hijab once you go into puberty, once your body starts to develop and you start to attract the male gaze. So it's a way of like protecting yourself and not to be objectified. So I started wearing it later on in my life, so I had to get used to that. I had to transition my lifestyle and just be comfortable covering myself and letting others like me for who I am, my mind, my intellect, and not what I look like. So I had to adjust to that.
I find it very admirable. Like, just, this might sound silly, but like the everyday you like it's your religion, of course. You're putting on your hijab and everything every day, but it's very like empowering to like see that like you can do this and you're just embracing who you are, and it shows, like, I feel for younger viewers or younger readers rather that like it's okay to be different and be yourself and like embrace your heritage and religion.
Right, and it's just not having everyone access to you, you know. I mean, you're a girl. Like, if there were any men here, you could look at me without my hijab. It's just a protection against men, you know, just so I'm not being, people don't lust after me.
To like
So
set like a sort
it's
of
like a boundary.
Yes.
But I can still talk to men. It's just there are certain boundaries when you're interacting with men and then when you're interacting with women. But I feel very empowered knowing that I have control over who gets to look at my body.
So, in your book, Modest in the West, you speak of Muslims and non-Muslims coming eye to eye. Was this ever an issue for you in the workplace? And if so, how did you combat this obstacle?
For me, it's just, especially when I started, because when I wasn't wearing a hijab, it was different. You know, I kind of like blended in. You can't really tell whether I'm Muslim or not. But with the hijab, when you see me, the first thing you realize that I'm different. I'm Muslim. So for me, people who didn't understand it at first would kind of be a little bit afraid. But once they approached me, once I made them kind of like get comfortable around me and trust me, they were able to open up and talk to me more and ask me questions about Muslims. And I also had the opportunity to ask my non-Muslim co-workers about their religion. It's just exchanging thoughts, views, and being comfortable around each other, knowing that we're not just here to hurt each other, you know. We're here to just get to know each other, understand our opinions, our views, our thoughts, and just being open-minded. So actually the hijab made it a way for me to have conversations and have people share with me their doubts, their fears about Muslims. So that gave me an opportunity to clarify certain things, certain misconceptions. So for me, I feel like the hijab gave me that opportunity, whereas where I didn't wear the hijab, no one knew that I was Muslim.
I'm very excited and like happy to hear that you're able to powerfully overcome this in a way that you didn't get it doesn't seem like you got offended. Like, seem like a very understanding person, where you changed your appearance and people take a step back and they're like, whoa, what's happening? And you're understanding and compassionate enough to like explain and form connections to like fight against biases. And I think it's just a beautiful thing that we live in a world that we could share cultures and religions and learn more about each other to like fight off such like, it's unfortunate that a lot of things, it's like visual, and then like you see someone and a lot of people just instantly think something.
Right, and it's not just non-Muslims. Even as Muslims, some Muslims are kind of afraid when they see a person with the hijab because they don't really understand it. Even me, before I wore the hijab, I was kind of like judgmental towards people who wore it, and I had just misconceptions. So it took for me to wear it and to listen to more Islamic lectures and educate myself to really understand why. So I can't really be mad at a non-Muslim for having those thoughts. It's just about being open and having those tough conversations. Like, I would rather you tell me what you're feeling, your doubts, and just let me know why you feel the way you are and why you feel the way you feel, and I get to express why I am the way I am and why I choose to live the way I live. So just having those conversations, those tough conversations, can be very uncomfortable, but you know, I think it helps clear out some misconceptions, and also it takes away some of the fears that people may have.
Yeah, it's a really phenomenal trait to be able to see something that's uncomfortable and you might not want to go there, but you have to like get through things and come. It's just, everything's a learning experience. You need to be able to have an open mind to many things and persevere through it.
Right. Hello, my name is Hadiatou Wann. I am the author of this memoir, Modest in the West, and on taking the journey of wearing hijab. You can find us at Amazon and other major retail stores. You're listening to WSIA Staten Island.